Good morning, y'all. Share our YouTube live link. Okay. Hope everyone's feeling all right. Let's go ahead and get started. This morning we have a support flow, which I'm feeling really good about. Cool. So for your practice this morning, you're going to want some pillows and some blankets. So if you feel free to pause this video and go grab some pillows and blankets, maybe some sofa cushions. I realize they tend to just be like thicker and a little bulkier. And yeah, if you have an extra blanket or two blankets might be nice to have. Yeah. So I'm assuming that at this point you've paused and gotten what you need, or you already have what you need. So let's get started. I'm going to scoot back. Okay. So let's find a gentle seat. If you want to really gently open up the hips, it might be nice to sit on an elevated prop like a block or a cushion. It also can feel really nice to put cushions underneath your knees so that everything just has something to rest on. Let's lengthen the spine as we just wiggle the hips and ground heavy in the hips here. Let's slow the breath down on this Friday morning. And I'll invite us to just check in with how we're showing up this morning. What is our body telling us? What parts of our body are speaking to us? Where are we at mentally, emotionally, and spiritually this morning? Trying to just meet ourselves where we're at. Trying to practice non-judgment with where we're at. Slowing the breath down just a bit more with each breath. Being just a bit slower, just a bit more controlled, just a bit more expansive. Really engaging these core muscles to expand as much as we can, pushing out, pulling the diaphragm down to expand, and exhaling to release slowly. Noticing where our mind drifts. Just gently bringing the attention back to the breath. Inhaling to sit as tall as we can, finding that length in the top back of the head. Maybe feeling like this invisible string is lifting gently from the crown of our head. Shoulders heavy, chest open. Feeling the shoulder blades spread wide as the chest also opens. So feeling this opening in the front space and the back space. Inhale, squeezing the shoulders up. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. And let's take another cycle of those. This time we'll inhale for 4 counts. We'll hold the shoulders here nice and tight for 4 counts, and we'll hold the breath for those 4 counts. And then we'll release for 4 counts. All right, so breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, 2, 3, 4, exhale down, 2, 3, 4. In between, let's take a little break to roll the shoulders. We'll do a little shoulder roll between each breath pattern. All right, once more. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale down. 2, 3, 4. Fingertips to shoulders. Let's roll the shoulders open. And once more, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath here, 2, 3, 4, exhale down, 2, 3, full circumduction, leading with the pinky, and relax in the arms. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath here. 2, 3, 4. Exhale down. 2, 3, 4. Inhale up. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath here. 2, 3, 4. Exhale down. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Up. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath here. 2, 3, 4. Relaxing. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Let's just gently roll the neck from side to side. And reaching the left fingertips down and away. Right arm comes up and over. Just letting the right elbow's natural weight fall heavy, maybe flexing this left wrist. Finding length in the left middle finger. Keep reaching and engaging this left shoulder, feeling the left wrist reaching down and away. Flexing the left wrist, that feels right to us. Really stretching that left middle finger long. Turning towards the right armpit, grabbing the top back of the head. Maybe searching this left shoulder into our back space. Gently release other side. Reaching the right fingertips away, maybe flexing this right wrist. Left elbow falls heavy, keeping this right shoulder engaged, reaching away and down. Nice deep breaths here. Keep the right shoulder engaged to safely protect our delicate right neck muscles. And turning towards the left armpit, grabbing the top back of the head. And gently release, roll the neck. Turning from side to side. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale, relax. Let's go ahead and wiggle the spine. Maybe drawing some circles with the spine. And while we draw these circles, really trying to find the edges of our space, treating every corner like a stretch. Changing directions if you feel called. And coming back to center. All right, so let's get into some of the juicier support thoughts for today. So one thing I wanted to talk about was that we haven't really done a lot of is talking about how the wall can be a great support. So just to give our spine a little bit more opening, I'm going to adjust our camera. And, you know, whether you have a mantle or even just a flat wall, in fact, well, I'll use the mantle. But so putting our hands against the wall, if you have a flat wall, you can put the hands up against the wall this way. You can also use a table, but just wanting to highlight some of the lengthening support that we can offer for our spine. So I have my hands firmly planted either on a wall or on a flat surface, making sure that it's something that can support our weight. My feet are parallel. I'm pressing all the edges of my feet into the floor. My knees are bent. I'm going to start reaching my hips back, and I'm going to let my head drop between the shoulders. And already I felt just like I felt my spine go, like I felt the lengthening happen. So really working on letting go and letting our body feel heavy. So my knees are bent, my hips are neutral. I'm reaching the hips back, letting my head just sink heavy. I'm almost flaring my elbows out to rotate my shoulders, feeling my upper back lengthen. And then I can also start to tilt my pelvis to arch the back. Keep breathing deeply. Take as much time as you like here. Try to relax the neck, try to relax the head. Maybe play with the pelvis, noticing how it can cat-cow here. You can round, you can arch. This is truly one of my favorite ways to open up the spine. Feel free to shake the head and pressing into the floor with the feet to lift ourselves up and out of this back bend. So that can be kind of intense. Hopefully, you found something that works. I encourage you to keep getting experimental with that opening work in the spine. And with that, if you're sitting on a cushion, let's take that out. And I'll invite us to come into a butterfly, maybe opening the feet like a book, giving our arches some love. And let's take some pillows and stack them in our lap. Inhaling to lengthen the spine. Exhaling to puff the chest forward, resting the chest on these pillows. You might still want to have some cushion underneath the knees here. Trying to find a space where, again, you can use all these contraptions to make an incline if you want, but just trying to allow the body to just truly rest and be supported by these props. So we're giving our nervous system some support so that it feels safe and feels, in this global pandemic, like our bodies are in constant crisis. And this is a globally traumatic event. So our nervous systems are on edge. And this affects our digestion, it affects our sex drive, it affects the functioning of our vital organs. So being able to be in positions of rest where we're getting sensory input throughout our body and where our muscles are able to just relax and rest into the earth or into the floor, that just creates a sense of calm for our nervous system and allows it to focus on vital functioning and helping bring some balance to our internal bodies. So allow yourself to rest here for a moment in this forward fold. Breathing deeply. I'll encourage us to visualize our hips opening up and inflating like balloons on the inhale, and exhaling to release heavy into the floor. With every inhale, feeling and visualizing our hips expanding, inflating. Feel them getting bigger, and exhale, feeling them melt heavy into the floor. Slow, deep breaths. few more moments of rest here. If you notice that you're starting to feel extra comfortable and you want a little bit more of a deepening experience, you can lower your prop down, or maybe remove one of the pillows in your lap. Just working with our breath to feel heavy and expansive. Rolling up when you're ready. Okay, so let's set up a twist for ourselves. And you can use, I'm going to use a double pillow stack. So I have 2 pillows here, and then I'm going to take my cushion, which you could use a sofa cushion for, and I'm making myself an incline, so we can take on a nice deep twist. So first things first, I'm going to line up my lower back to the edge of this bolster. I'll turn to the right, and I'm going to go ahead and flip my leg as well so that both of my knees are bent in the same direction. My right foot is resting right over my left thigh, and my left foot is behind me. So I'm sitting here, I'll keep turning to the right, and I can rest on this incline for a nice twist. Now, once we're here for a moment, you might crave something a little bit deeper, and if you do, you can take this a step further by twisting in the neck to the right, so that we feel this twist in every part of our spine. Our lower spine is twisting to the right, our middle spine is twisting to the right, and now our upper spine. This might be too intense for some of our upper spine, so do what feels right. Nothing should feel like it's pinching, popping, or snapping. So find what feels good for you. And let's rest here for a few more breaths. Again, connecting with that inflating, expansive inhale and the deflating, heavy exhale. Trying to position ourselves to figure out how can we do no work? How can we just rest heavy? Allowing the breath to fill that space around the spine on the inhale, and exhale just deep and heavy into these props. And you might find that like other parts of your body want some relief as well. So if you want to lift that other knee, whatever in general, in these restorative flows, we're figuring out where is our body doing work and how can we take that work out of our body. So bringing a prop to our body so that it can be supported instead of having to do supportive work. So we're minimizing work here. And pressing up when you're ready. You can lift the knees and kind of flip to the other side so that both of our knees are pointing to our left. Our left foot is resting just over our right thigh and our right foot's behind us. We're twisting our torso to the left, resting the left ear on our incline. And after some time, we may continue the twist in the cervical spine. Trying to feel heavy in every part of the spine, every vertebra. Feeling our spine and our hips inflate and expand on the inhale. Exhaling to feel heavy. Trusting that we're giving our nervous system a message that we're safe in this moment. And when you're ready, we can press up gently out of these revolutionary twists and back to center. Okay, let me check the time. Oh, lovely. Okay. So, before we move to our backs, I'll offer one more forward fold for us. One of my favorites, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. It doesn't matter how much we can open our legs. And just to warm up our hamstrings, I'll invite us to alternate flex and point. Warming up the ankles and the calves. And then we can start to lift the knees. So once we flex the foot, we can lift the knee and kind of press into our socket. Notice how my heels aren't really sliding on the floor. I'm really working with my hips here. So when my toe is pointed, when my foot is pointed, pressing my thigh into the floor. When my foot is flexed, I'm lifting my knee up off of the floor and kind of then opening up my hip socket here. So give yourself some heat. Might feel a little bit intense. Try to keep moving through it. Maybe rubbing parts of our body that are feeling tight. Okay. Now finding another stack of props for ourselves. Maybe we want to make another incline. So this can totally work. I also like having a bolster actually face me like this. Some of us might want to stack quite a few pillows up here. The important thing that I'll emphasize again is to find a space where we're not doing any work, and to focus on the tilt of the pelvis. So I really want to let my spine just feel like it's resting. It doesn't, even if you feel like you're pretty straight up, that's okay. As long as we're resting the chest forward, feeling the pelvis just tilt ever so slightly. I would keep these feet flexed, keep them active and engaged so that we can actively press the thighs into the floor. And this isometric work is really going to release tension in the lower back and hips, which is really wonderful. So feeling heavy in the belly, feeling heavy in the chest. Noticing if there are any parts of our body that are not resting heavy. And bringing some support, some more pillows, some more elevation to those parts of our body. Focusing, or the invitation is to focus on the long, lengthened breaths here. Seeing if we can feel expansive and inflate, giving our body the relief that it needs on the inhale, and exhaling to see if we can let go. See if we can just fall, our whole body sink, melt deeper into the floor on every exhale. If at some point you're craving to go deeper, just adjust your props. Again, connecting with that breath and always bringing the attention gently back to the breath to feel as heavy as we can, making any adjustments that bring us comfort. And rolling up when we're ready. If you want to pause and stay here longer, go for it. And then the other hip opening thing I want to do sitting up before we move to our backs is to bring this right foot to the outside of the left knee. Notice how my left knee is bent, my left calf, my left shin is resting on the floor. And then the first work is sitting this right hip down. Now for some of us, this might be enough, and we might want to tuck some prop under there, like having a pillow or some blanket underneath. Once you're able to get this hip down, then we can start thinking about closing knee over ankle, ankle over knee. Now again, nothing should feel like a pinch, pop, or a snap. Let's flex both feet to really take care of our ligaments. We can stuff a blanket here as well to create some relief. You will go deeper into your postures if you use props. You will grow more flexible and more mobile if you use props. Props are essential to giving our muscles and our nerves information that says you can go deeper, you can relax, you can release. So use props, use props. They're such a great supportive way to deepen our practice. So maybe this is where you are and you can stuff a blanket. I'm gonna leave that here because it feels really nice. And then another thing we can do is start all of us, regardless, even if you're right here being like, all of us can reach the chest forward just to feel that gentle tilt in the pelvis. If all of this is too intense for you right now, that is totally fine. Some great modifications are to sit and reach the chest forward like so, or to lay on your back and just hug in. Okay? So wherever you are, totally works. And if you are, you could put cushion under both knees, in fact. So find where you're feeling that discomfort and add some cushion. And then I'm going to float forward. So again, you can find some cushions to go in front of you and just fold heavy. Noticing if any parts of our body are not feeling supported and bringing some supportive props, a pillow, a blanket, a sofa cushion, a pet, a child, to come give us some support. Feel free to rub the outer hips as well, could be really nice to give some fascial release to the outer hips and lower back. Rolling up. And let's switch sides. So now bringing the left foot to the outside of the right knee. This side might feel totally different than the first side, which is totally fine. We might want to stick some cushion underneath the hip. We might want to put some cushion underneath this knee. I'm going to go ahead and put some cushion underneath my left knee. You might want cushion under your right knee as well. And then any cushion that we need to just lean forward. Feel free to move onto your back. Feel free to sit up and plant this right foot. Breathing deeply here, trying to focus on the inhale, but allowing our mind to drift when we need to, or just being gentle with ourselves if we get distracted. As much as we can focus on our muscles here, as much as we can focus on that feeling of expansion, that visualization of our hips expanding and inflating on the inhale and exhaling to just melt heavy. The more we can focus on this, the more space we'll have to deepen. Making adjustments as you go. Maybe adjusting your prop so that you can go deeper. Maybe adjusting your prop so that you can loosen up a little bit maybe the position you found for yourself feels too deep and you want to come back up a little bit. Find that supportive space that feels like minimal work. So that we can focus on the breath. Releasing when you're ready, rolling up. Okay. So, we're going to move to our backs now. Grabbing a bolster or a stack of pillows or sofa cushions. Sitting lower back to cushion. When we're ready, we can gently roll down. So my hips are resting on the floor. My whole spine is resting on this bolster cushion. This is called a restorative fish. Our legs, we can keep them bent and we can plant the feet, really feeling heavy here in the hips. We can open the knees and open the hips, pressing the bottoms of the feet into each other for a reclined butterfly. If you do a butterfly, it might be nice to just put some cushions underneath the knees so they can just rest heavy. You can also just flop the legs long like this. Whatever feels best. And again, slowing the breath down, finding expansive breaths. And if you're feeling any discomfort here in this back bend, make any adjustments. Maybe this cushion needs to be a little bit further away. That's okay. Maybe it's too much cushion. Maybe it's not enough. Make those adjustments for yourself. Take the time and invest the energy to make adjustments that just make us feel as good as we can. This global pandemic is all about adjustments, right? So we're making some massive adjustments as we respond and adapt to our individual and collective needs. And here, make every adjustment that you feel called to make. To make your body feel supported and loved, and cared for, and safe. Helping us think clearly, helping our blood flow properly and healthily, allowing our digestion to flow, to release toxins and waste, allowing all of our organs to just kind of flow in a healthy space. Slow, deep breaths. when you're ready, gently pressing up however you can. And let's prepare for a nice long Shavasana. So you have some options for Shavasana. I wouldn't say that this back bend, I want our spine to feel pretty flat. So we just did a back bend here in this restorative fish. And if you want an incline, you can use a block or some pillows to create an incline, just like we did before. So that our back can rest flat. So this is one option. See how my back can just kind of, oops. My back can just kind of rest flat here. We can let the legs flop. We can put the knees here. We can elevate the knees. For my back, I'm actually going to lay flat on the floor. So feel free to do this in Shavasana for yourself if you need. Otherwise, I'm actually going to put a folded blanket under my lower back. So I already am aware that I'm going to feel tension when I lie down. So just ever so, just a bit of support underneath here. Our legs can lengthen long. We can also elevate the knees, which I'm going to do as well. In fact, I'm going to elevate with 2 bolsters. Something that you can do is also elevate the legs against the wall, which feels so nice. Figuring out ways to bring more support into the practice. I'm taking another blanket. Now, it can feel great to cover yourself with a blanket, so I want to invite you to do that. I'm rolling up one end of this blanket, and I'm placing it under my neck. So my neck is now supported. There's no space between my neck and the floor. I'm not really elevating my head. I'm just kind of filling up that space between the neck and my floor, elevating my knees. This is going to be so good for my nervous system. I'm so excited. And then I have these other cushions. I don't know how many pillows you have, but I'm also going to put cushions on my hands and on my thumbs specifically, because I noticed that I tend to rest on my pinky fingers when I rest my shoulders. And to give some rotation in my shoulders, I'm going to let my whole hand feel weighted. I don't know if you feel that subtle difference where your shoulders are kind of opening up and your chest is opening up. And if you have something to put on your pelvis for some extra weight, even if it's not very heavy, go for it. If you have a blanket to cover yourself, go for it. We're going to stay here for the rest of our practice. Perfect. Shavasana, corpse pose, the most important pose for us. Trying to make sure every part of our body feels supported. Every part of our body has space to just rest and release. Shavasana for me is a reminder that we're all dying, but we're not dead yet. That I can always stand up, and that every moment is practice for the next. That is what life is. That is what living is all about. Practice, the repetition, the cycles. Day to day, month to month, year to year, moment to moment. How can I be conscious of my practice? How can I be present in my practice? How can I be fluid and open in my practice? How can my practice yesterday inform my practice today? What can we bring from the yoga mat into our daily lives, our work, our families, our relationships, the revolution? What does it feel like to just be supported? For all of your weight to be supported by the earth, by crops. Can we cultivate a sense of strength for acknowledging the power of support and utilizing the power of support? Maybe the ankles feel heavy, let the knees feel heavy, let the hips feel heavy. Every vertebra of the spine melting into the floor, shoulders melting into the floor, elbows, wrists, knuckles, and fingertips relax, heavy. Relax the face, relax the jaw, relax the cheekbones, release the eyebrows, the forehead. Giving our nervous system a message that our body is safe, supported, loved, cared for. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Bringing our attention back to our bodies on this floor, in this room, in our homes, on this virtual space together. Now, you can pause this and stay here for as long as you want. You can ignore everything I'm saying and stay here as long as you want. But if you're ready to come out, let's take 3 sighs of relief together, breathing in. Again, breathing in. One more time, y'all. Let it all out. Breathing in. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Gently rolling over to our right side, curling up in a ball, finding a moment of comfort here in the fetal position. Again, take as much time as you like here, and when you're ready, let's roll up to a comfortable seat. Lengthening the spine, shoulders open, chest open. You can keep the hands where they are, bring the hands to heart center, or rest the hands over the heartbeat. A breath for the ancestors who bring to the space and for the indigenous people who were here before colonization, breathing in and out. A breath to thank yourself for your practice today, breathing in and out. A breath to appreciate others for their support, breathing in and out. And a breath for the intentions and well-being of everybody in this community we're building together, breathing in and out. Loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. Okay. Well, I hope that was nice. That was nice for me too. I've definitely had a really up and down week with some highs and lows. I don't know about you, and don't think I've taught yoga for the past week. And there were definitely moments this week where I just couldn't get out of bed, and I couldn't bring myself to come practice. So shout out to Anthony and Trent who supported me through that, and thanks to y'all for being so understanding when we need to take space. I really feel committed to this work and committed to this healing space together, and just acknowledging that it's hard. And so if you're having days where you're not waking up to do yoga or not doing anything for your body, I'm with you. I'm having those days too. So a reminder, a big part of why we're making this commitment to teach every day is not only because we believe that it's helpful and important for our community, but we also want to raise funds for queer, trans, and PoC families, and for various causes that are bringing relief to those who are struggling, especially during COVID, especially those affected by institutional inequality, and the ways that that's showing up and exploding in this global pandemic. So please, please, please donate. We now have a Venmo, the Glittered Goddesses. So you can send a Venmo donation. Please, if you're not able to donate, there are other ways that you can support this work by reaching out to us, spreading the word, and posting every day so that people can find our link really easily and people can see that this is still happening. We definitely, understandably so, we've had fewer donations over the last few weeks, and so our list of needs that we want to support is getting longer, and we're just not able to offer any support because we're totally out of funds. So please, please, please spread the word, donate what you can, and keep practicing with us. And thank you for giving us a reason to practice and to share and to heal together. So I think that's all I have to say. Sending you all lots of love. Write some comments, share this practice if you enjoyed it, and check out our YouTube because we've posted all of our flows and there's lots of fun stuff up there. All right, y'all. Signing off. Until tomorrow.